Earthquakes may not be the most frequent type of disaster, but they are among the hardest to predict. Through real-life events, we will explore how just a few seconds of shaking can trigger hours of danger. On June 24, 2026, in Venezuela, successive aftershocks could further weaken structures already damaged by the initial tremor, causing the risk of collapse to rise further. The cause of the structure's collapse remains unclear. In your opinion, was the primary factor aftershocks, a weakened foundation, or pre-existing structural damage?
Ya, afuera que tenemos. Por allá, señores, al puerta 4. Por allá.
Gooseneck barnacles are neither worms nor tentacles but crustaceans, closely related to rock-dwelling barnacles. How many sheep do you think are in this flock? If your guess is the closest, a career in auditing might be waiting for you. Escaping disaster this time does not mean it was a safe choice. A bridge showing signs of damage could lose its load-bearing capacity and collapse at any moment. An earthquake ending does not mean the danger is over. Strong aftershocks can still occur unexpectedly, even as assessments are underway in Petrinja, Croatia. During the chaotic moments of the 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude double earthquakes in Venezuela in June 2026, people's calmness can help the entire community respond more effectively. Flash floods often intensify rapidly as they sweep up soil, rocks, and tree trunks, significantly increasing the force of impact compared to the initial flow of water. In Arizona,
he pulled out his jacket.
An explosion on Highway 87 led to the Round Valley Fire, demonstrating how car fires can quickly turn into wildfires in hot, dry conditions. Polar bears are long-distance swimmers, thanks to their thick layer of fat and large paws. Do you know how far a polar bear can swim? Ice disks like these are very rare. They typically form when river eddies wear down the edges of the ice into a circular shape over time. Dogs can sense vibrations and low-frequency sounds better than humans, so they often react very quickly when earthquakes occur. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake can generate tremors strong enough to destabilize buildings under construction, whose structural systems are not yet fully completed. Swinging pendant lights are one of the easily recognizable signs that seismic energy is still passing through a building in Mexico City. On the island of St. Vincent, the eruption of the La Soufriere volcano created one of the most impressive ash plumes in the Caribbean. Nature takes only 1,000th of a second to create a force that humans would take days to overcome. The most reassuring thing wasn't the car, but the fact that both the driver and the two dogs were safe after the incident. What was the moment that made you breathe the most relief? On the island of Rügen, Germany, encounters with wild boars are a reminder that wild animals can react very quickly when they feel threatened.
Wait! The whole building collapsed.
If you are near a construction site when an earthquake occurs, quickly move to an open area and stay away from the risk of falling objects. In Liège, Belgium, a nearly stationary thunderstorm system dumped about 150 millimeters of rain in 24 hours, an amount roughly equal to 2 months' worth of rainfall. When the sky turns dark and strong winds gust, leave the beach immediately, because thunderstorms can arrive much faster than many people anticipate.
Oh my god! The caballeros! Oh my god!
Is the weather where you are today calmer than the scene in the video, or are you also facing hail or extreme weather? The fact that drivers proactively yield the right-of-way demonstrates that humans are entirely capable of sharing space with nature out of respect.
Ja, ik kan echt goed zwemmen, dat is één ding zeker weten.
Those involved in the rescue do not seek attention. They simply want to give a life in distress another chance to live. Fortuna, California. Dashcam footage captured the moment a 6.2 magnitude earthquake off the coast shook traffic lights and shattered windows on Main Street. Even the most seemingly sturdy structures have limits to the power of nature. What do you think is the biggest lesson from this event? Arganda del Rey, a suburb of Madrid, has repeatedly been affected by extreme rainfall events causing localized flooding.
Rescue number 2. Fantastic.
The spirit of cooperation among the people made a difference as each person contributed to bringing the calf to safety. If it were you, would you participate? Surfing on flooded streets might look impressive, but a single open manhole or submerged obstacle is enough to turn the fun into a regrettable mishap. The Mendenhall Glacier is approximately 21 kilometers long and is part of the Juneau ice field, a remnant of the last ice age. Many animals can sense low-frequency vibrations before or at the same time humans begin to feel an earthquake. In Acapulco, Mexico, the moment a strong earthquake caused widespread power outages, prepare flashlights instead of candles to reduce the risk of fire if there is a gas leak. Does your family have an emergency kit? This moment reminds us that monitoring warnings and evacuating in time can protect both your family and your community. Beagle Chihuahua mixes often inherit the playfulness, intelligence, and adaptability of both breeds. Waking up to find each animal appearing on your bed one by one is certainly not an experience many people have had. Which moment made you laugh the most?
Holy
Even though many belongings were damaged, the most important thing is that all family members and pets are safe. The Manaro Vui volcano on Ambe Island is one of Vanuatu's prominent active volcanoes, frequently monitored by researchers. Many believe that God's grace helped the driver overcome this perilous situation. A strong flood can generate enough force to cause a vehicle to lose control after just one collision with a floating object in the river. The relationships between farm animals are sometimes much closer than many people think. Which country are you watching this video from? Moose don't understand traffic signals. They simply choose the most convenient route to continue their journey. Wisconsin often experiences severe hailstorms in the spring when cold and warm air collide, creating conditions for strong thunderstorms to develop.
Mine too.
Although the car was severely damaged, the greatest blessing after the storm was that no one was injured. Honolulu is often affected by tropical rains, so urban flooding is one of the weather risks that needs to be monitored regularly. When you see unusual movement of water, the safest option is to leave the area immediately. Does this often happen where you live? The amazing phenomenon. The most impressive thing isn't the speed, but the ability to keep the car stable in a very uncontrollable state. The most dangerous thing isn't the section of road that has collapsed, but the sections that remain intact but whose foundations have been eroded by the water. In March 2026, Kihei, Maui, an intact road surface doesn't necessarily mean it's safe, as the foundations may have been destroyed by the water flow. Even a modern residential area cannot withstand unstable ground, demonstrating that geological monitoring is just as important as construction quality. A quiet act can make every journey safer, not for recognition, but simply to ensure safer travel for everyone. Canadian geese are very protective of their young and often cooperate closely when crossing high-risk areas. What do you think helps them maintain their formation?
Just wait. Now it's going up.
In Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, deep cold air masses in winter often create ideal conditions for the phenomenon of boiling water freezing in mid-air. Fish species often congregate in shallow waters with abundant aquatic vegetation, creating favorable conditions for traditional fishing methods. Do you think the most dangerous thing right now is the fire or the risk of electricity still being on the power lines?
Hold up, let me open the sunroof. Why, so we can breathe more of that shit? No, so I can be cold.
The most worrying thing isn't just the fire, but also the risk of pollutant dispersion, requiring air quality monitoring in the surrounding area. Coquimbo, Chile is often affected by heavy rains and strong winds in the winter, requiring outdoor structures to meet stringent safety standards. Highland cattle originate from the Scottish Highlands and are known for their thick coats and gentle nature when properly cared for. The calm actions of the container truck driver prevented a serious accident. If you were driving in this situation, would you dare to drive alongside to assist?
Pull, go!
The rescue shows that in a flood environment, the right equipment and teamwork are always more important than reckless action. Buxton, North Carolina is a hotspot for coastal erosion. Is the area where you live experiencing a similar situation? Quickly clearing the scene helps reduce the risk of debris being carried by waves and further damaging the coastline.